Why did you both want to own your own business? Like what, that thing right there?
Yeah, my biggest reason, and thinking way back, right?
Yeah, way back.
Whoa.
Way back.
I didn't want a boss. I wanted to go to work every day like my dad did at 5 in the morning or 8:30 in the morning. I wanted to decide that. I wanted to make my own way. I wanted to prove something to myself and to other people that I could do it, and it's still the biggest driver. Like we talked earlier, putting your own team together, and I make the final decision on who's going to come into the store and who we're going to work with. Nobody's making that decision but me, and that was my biggest driver. Truthfully, the money and the investing and even growing up in it, that wasn't, which is a little bit weird, because now at the end of my career, towards the end of my career, like the financial benefit of this company is insane. I mean, it's almost pinch myself.
Well, you've talked about showing your financial guy the stuff and him not being able to believe it, right?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's long-term life insurance, whole life stuff people, or it's investment people, or talking retirement numbers and whatnot. I mean, what we have inside of our private little shoe store company out of Shenandoah, Iowa, I mean, it's insane. And if you're new and you're getting started on that, truthfully, it's hard to get your head around. Maybe year 1 to 10 even, but as you buy investments outside your own store and that snowball starts getting rolling and continues to grow, and kind of like we were talking earlier on the growth, it's, that's another piece with Browns, is you continuously grow as a person, as a manager, as a business owner, but also financially. And what, it's but biggest reason, be my own boss, run my own day-to-day, make my own decisions. We're a company of what you put into it, you do directly benefit from it. You come up with a plan, it's all on you as an owner and a manager. We have a ton of resources and a ton of great people to lean on and learn from. But at the end of the day, you got to make the decision and you got to make the P&L work.
Yeah, that reminds me of one of my favorite books, Extreme Ownership. It all falls on you at the end of the day.
It's one
Can't
of my
blame
favorite,
anybody else.
Yeah, one of my favorite books, and it's kind of in us, right? And I think some of these books that I fall in love with just solidifies, maybe some of the things I thought were kind of like maybe weird in my brain, but then you listen to these guys and listen to all these successful people, and you realize that's kind of what it is. And it's awesome, but it's a crazy good opportunity. And if you're listening to this and haven't chatted with a Brown Shoe Fit person and there's any interest at all, chat with somebody and kind of learn more about it.
Why business owner for you, Ben?
I think he summed it up great. I have all of those same feelings. I'm learned from the very beginning I'm not great with authority, and I'm better at apologies than permission slips.
I love
so
it.
that kind of led
That's
into I want to do my own thing, and then very quickly on I've we remember this is shoes, and I fell in love with the footwear industry, which benefits, not a requirement, right? Like you can use shoes to run a great Brown Shoe Fit organization, keeping your eye on being self-employed and entrepreneur and all that. But for me, it's just been a great bonus to have both. Like I love buying shoes, merchandising shoes, marketing shoes. I don't know that my entrepreneur interest would be anywhere else. So it's just kind of a lucky, perfect landing.
It's so cool. And when you were telling your story, you admittedly stumbled into the shoe store opportunity, right?
Yes.
And even thought shoes, really.
Really?
And now your passion for shoes and the shoe industry, I mean, Ben's got to be top of the list when it comes to that passion for the industry itself. And it's
pretty cool. Like, I
it's
can
so cool.
literally call up some of these owners of these brands by now, and we've been lucky enough, or with enough effort put in, we on my individual store matter to them, and that was kind of cool, or is kind of cool.
Super cool.
Yeah,
I want to
and I want to do whatever I want to do all day long.
Yes, that's on a video. If you haven't caught that video, listen to this and then go watch that video on our site.
That line will be part of Ben's legacy,
always,
no doubt.
Always. You can get that on brownshoefitcompany.com as well. And I mean, that's kind of me too. So, I wanted to get into Browns because I wanted to own my own business, and Jim Zimmerman, and used to run our Fort Collins store, introduced me to Brown Shoe Fit. And second interview, talked about the numbers, and I said, wow, great opportunity, sign me up. But why did I get into store ownership? Why did I want to own my own business? I think all the things, financially great. I want to take care of my family. Help people is huge. So why not help people and, make money while you're doing it, and make good money while doing it. But building something bigger than myself, helping others, building a team, which you talked about, all those things just wrapped up in a beautiful package, all in this thing that, we are like a family. And I love that, again, going back to extreme ownership and getting to create your own destiny and not being able to blame anybody but yourself is kind of a beautiful thing too. So, that's in a nutshell why I got into it. But I want to circle back to that question of, if you knew then what you know now, what would you keep? What wouldn't you do? I kind of want to focus on that, because people just starting out, experience is such a valuable thing of that you both get to pull from, that just starting out, you don't get to pull from that. And yes, we learn a lot, not to say you won't make mistakes along the way. I hope you do, because those are the biggest lessons for all of us. And the more people I talk to, that's where they learn the most. Those are pretty valuable. But that, would you speak to that might even help them more? And I know we've probably touched on a lot of what that answer might be already, but just recalling some of those valuable points in your own lives.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I'll jump in on this one and kick it off. But, again, deciding pretty early on, it was, high school, skipped the college thing, and jumped in and had that advantage of working with Dad and seeing his day to day. And I wanted that. And, but what I know now that I kind of wish I would have known then is, the two big things, the people, and how valuable the resources and the people that help me learn and grow and challenge me, and all inside the company. So much of, at that time, there again, no podcasts, no there were libraries, I guess, but I wasn't doing that.
Encyclopedias.
Right. But we had the weeklies and the monthlies to know who was good in this company and know who was great in this company. And then one of our biggest advantages is the reach out. So
that's good.
I did that. And Terry Roth was in Liberal, Kansas, crushing it. Gary Provichek was in Enid, Oklahoma. Gary was my big brother, SOD mentor at that time. And Gary was great. Terry was extra special in like the connection piece too. And I went to his store several times to see what he was doing, look at his brands. Because again, I moved from Cheyenne, Wyoming to Alva, Oklahoma, and product was different. He was carrying brands I'd never even heard of. So that resource piece and how valuable that is to learn from people, ask questions. As soon as you think you know it all, your brain shuts off and you don't even try to learn. And I learned that later in life, but if you think you already know, then you're probably not going to ask. You're probably not going to reach out, and you're going to miss a huge amount of opportunity to learn from people who are really, really good at it. And why not? Why wouldn't you learn from success? So that, I experienced that. I did take the initiative and do some of that. But when I look now versus then, that was one of the biggest things that got me here. So
the question would be, if you knew then what you know now, what would you keep? What would you get rid of that could help someone just starting out, that maybe they don't have to? Failure is great to learn from, but it might keep them from less failure. So
mine's pretty easy. If I know what I know now when I started, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, starting in Newton, and looking back now, it's unique for me to feel like I had 100% of the effort without knowing what I was doing. Where I think we run across a lot is someone who knows how to do everything and are unable to put the effort in. So if I knew what I know now, then I probably would have been all right from the beginning. And it's just the business math of the budget that was missing. I think the effort was the same. I've always been like 100 mile an hour straight forward, but now with a purpose and calculated, as opposed to writing checks and
right
trying to sell more shoes.
Yeah.